Your milk is making you sick, and it's not lactose intolerance. For thousands of years, humans thrived on milk, built empires on it, and raised strong children with it. But today, 70% of people can't drink it without pain, bloating, and inflammation. What changed? Not your body, the milk. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what they did to your milk, why medieval peasants were healthier than you, and how to fix it. Stay with me, this changes everything. Here's something wild. Your grandfather could drink a gallon of milk without a problem. You can't finish a glass without feeling terrible. The medical industry says you're lactose intolerant. The food industry sells you expensive alternatives, almond milk, oat milk, lactose-free formulas. But here's the truth they're hiding. The problem isn't you, it's what they did to the milk. In 1387, a family of 5 survived entire winters on milk from just 2 cows. That milk built strong bones and healthy guts and provided complete nutrition. Today's milk? It's been heated, pressurized, separated, and reconstructed. It's not really milk anymore. It's a reconstituted dairy product optimized for profit, not your health. Let me prove it to you. But first, quick question. Do you drink milk? And when you do you feel bloated, congested, inflamed? Or have you given up on dairy completely because you thought you were intolerant? Drop a comment right now. Tell me your experience, because what I'm about to share will completely change how you see that gallon in your fridge. What they did to your milk. Walk into any grocery store, you'll see dozens of options: whole milk, 2%, skim, organic, ultra-pasteurized. They all have one thing in common: they've been killed. Let me explain. Pasteurization heats milk to 161 degrees F for 15 seconds. Ultra-pasteurization cranks it up to 280 degrees F. Yes, this kills harmful bacteria, but here's what else it destroys. Lactase, the enzyme that digests lactose. Lipase, the enzyme that breaks down fats. Beneficial bacteria that protect your gut. And proteins, which become harder to digest. Medieval milk was raw. It contained lactase naturally. Even people with lower lactase production could drink it comfortably. The bacteria in the milk pre-digested the lactose for you. Today's milk? You're drinking lactose without the enzyme to process it. Your gut ferments it. You get gas, bloating, and cramps. And doctors call you intolerant. No, your body is reacting normally to an incomplete food. The homogenization problem. Then there's homogenization. This process forces milk through a fine screen under high pressure, smashing fat molecules into tiny pieces so cream doesn't separate. Sounds convenient, right? Here's the problem. Natural fat globules are large with protective membranes. Your body digests them slowly and safely. Homogenized fat? Tiny particles with damaged membranes. They slip through your gut lining more easily, triggering inflammation and allergic reactions. This is why milk allergies exploded after homogenization became standard in the 1930s. The cow problem. Medieval cows grazed on diverse pastures. They ate grass, clover, herbs, and wildflowers. They produced 1,500 to 2,000 pounds of milk per year while raising their calves naturally. Modern Holstein cows? They're living milk machines, 23,000 pounds per year. They're fed corn, soy, and grains, foods cows can't properly digest. This causes constant digestive stress, infections requiring antibiotics, milk with lower omega-3s, lower vitamins, and higher inflammation. And here's something gross. Mastitis, udder infections, is common in factory farms. Pus and bacteria enter the milk. Pasteurization kills the bacteria, but the pus cells remain. U.S. regulations allow up to 750,000 pus cells per milliliter. Medieval milk, virtually zero, because healthy cows on pasture don't get infected. Okay, pause. I need you to think about this. 750,000 pus cells per milliliter. If that doesn't make you want to rethink your grocery shopping, I don't know what will. Hit that like button if this is blowing your mind, because we're just getting started. How they did it right. Medieval Europe had dozens of cattle breeds adapted to local conditions. The Scottish Highlands had shaggy Highland cattle, the Swiss Alps had brown Swiss, England had shorthorns. These weren't bred for maximum production, they were bred for health, hardiness, and nutritional quality. Cows grazed on biodiverse meadows, not monoculture grass, but fields with 20 to 30 different plant species. Each plant added different nutrients to the milk. Studies show pasture-raised cows produce milk with 5 times more CLA, an anti-inflammatory fat, significantly higher omega-3s, more vitamins A, D, E, and K2. Medieval families milked by hand twice a day. The milk went straight into wooden buckets and was consumed within hours. No refrigeration, no processing, just fresh, living milk. When it couldn't be consumed immediately, they fermented it into clabber, cultured sour milk packed with probiotics, cheese and butter, preserving nutrients for months. Buttermilk, the byproduct of butter making, easier to digest than raw milk. Nothing was wasted. Every form was digestible because fermentation broke down lactose and proteins naturally. The enzyme destruction. Raw milk contains over 60 active enzymes. These enzymes do the digestive work for you. Lactase breaks down lactose, lipase breaks down fats, phosphatase helps absorb calcium. When you drink raw milk, you're consuming food that partially digests itself. Pasteurization destroys all of this. Without these enzymes, your body struggles to process the milk. Calcium absorption drops, fats become harder to digest, lactose ferments in your gut, and doctors call you intolerant. No, your body is reacting normally to an incomplete food. The protein problem, A1 versus A2. Here's something most people don't know. Modern Holstein cows produce a protein called A1 beta-casein. When digested, it breaks down into a compound called BCM7, linked to digestive discomfort, inflammation, and even neurological effects. Medieval cows and heritage breeds like Jersey and Guernsey produce A2 beta-casein, which doesn't create BCM7. People who can't tolerate conventional milk often have zero problems with A2 milk. The difference isn't you, it's the cow. The fat factor. Medieval people consumed full-fat dairy without guilt, and guess what? They didn't have the heart disease epidemic we see today. Multiple studies show no link between full-fat dairy and heart disease. Some studies even show a protective effect. The problem started when we removed the fat, replaced it with sugar, and added synthetic vitamins to compensate for what processing destroyed. Raw milk fat contains natural vitamins A and D. Your body absorbs them efficiently. Fortified skim milk? Synthetic vitamins that your body barely recognizes. So let me ask you this. If milk was safe and nutritious for 10,000 years, and suddenly in the last 100 years it's causing mass intolerance and allergies, is the problem really the milk, or is it what we did to it? Comment below, it's what we did to it, if you're starting to see the truth here. And subscribe because this channel is about uncovering the health knowledge they buried for profit. What the studies show. In 2011, a study in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology followed over 8,000 children in Europe. Result? Kids who drank raw milk had significantly lower rates of asthma, allergies, and eczema compared to kids who drank pasteurized milk. A Stanford University study found that adults who switched to raw milk reported reduced digestive symptoms, less bloating, and improved gut health. These weren't placebo effects. Measurable changes in gut bacteria were documented. Historical evidence. Medieval populations consumed dairy as a dietary staple. Skeletal remains show strong bone density, low rates of osteoporosis, and robust dental health. Today, despite fortified milk and calcium supplements, osteoporosis rates are climbing. Why? Because your body needs the full complex of nutrients in whole, unprocessed dairy, not just isolated calcium. The industrial takeover. The shift began in the late 1800s with urbanization. Cows were crammed into filthy city dairies, fed distillery waste, and produced genuinely dangerous milk. Pasteurization was introduced as an emergency fix, and it worked. Deaths from contaminated milk dropped. But instead of cleaning up the farms and ensuring healthy cows, the industry took a shortcut. Keep the filthy system, just heat-treat the milk. Pasteurization became a band-aid that allowed low-quality milk to be sold safely. By the mid-1900s, dairy was fully industrialized. The goal? Maximum volume at minimum cost. The result? Cheap, abundant milk that was nutritionally inferior and increasingly hard to digest. The vilification of raw milk. As health problems mounted, the industry didn't fix the product. They blamed you. You're lactose intolerant. Try our lactose-free version. Try skim milk. Try our fortified formula. Each solution added more processing, more expense, more distance from real food. Meanwhile, raw milk was regulated out of existence in most states. Why? Because raw milk can't be mass-produced or transported long distances. It requires healthy cows, clean facilities, and local distribution. It's inherently small-scale, and it's inherently better. The industry couldn't compete, so they made it illegal. If you're still with me, you're part of something important. You're learning what they don't want you to know. Do me a favor, like this video if it's opening your eyes. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exposing more buried truths every week. Share this with someone who can't tolerate dairy. They need to see this. Now, let's talk about what you can actually do about this. Option 1. Find raw milk. Depending on where you live, you might be able to buy raw milk directly from farms through herd share programs or at farmers markets. Look for farms that pasture-raise their cows, practice rotational grazing, and test their milk regularly for safety. Raw milk from healthy, grass-fed cows is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can consume. Many people who thought they were lactose intolerant discover they can drink it without any issues. Option 2. Low-temperature pasteurized, non-homogenized. If raw milk isn't accessible or legal in your area, seek out low-temperature pasteurized milk. It preserves more enzymes. Non-homogenized milk, it retains natural fat structure. And milk from grass-fed A2 cows. They're easier to digest. Look for milk sold in glass bottles with cream on top. It's not perfect, but it's far superior to conventional milk. Option 3. Fermented dairy. Yogurt, kefir, and aged cheeses made from high-quality milk are easier to digest because fermentation breaks down lactose and proteins. Choose full-fat versions, organic or grass-fed sources, and no added sugars or artificial ingredients. Traditional fermented dairy is a powerful probiotic food that supports gut health and immunity. Option 4. Understand your options. If you've eliminated dairy, understand this. The issue might not be dairy itself, but industrial processing. Many people feel better after removing pasteurized homogenized milk simply because they've removed an inflammatory trigger. But don't assume all dairy is bad. Experiment with raw or minimally processed options before giving up on a food that sustained human health for millennia. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. Medieval milk was a superfood because it was whole, raw, fresh, and came from healthy pasture-raised animals. It contained everything your body needed to digest and absorb it. Modern milk has been stripped, heated, homogenized, standardized, and fortified to the point where it barely resembles food. And then we wonder why it makes us sick. The medieval peasant with his fresh bucket of milk wasn't primitive. He was drinking a complete, living food that had been perfected over thousands of years. We traded that for convenience, shelf life, and corporate profit, and we're paying the price in chronic inflammation, digestive disorders, and weakened immunity. The solution isn't to avoid milk. The solution is to demand real milk. Milk from cows that graze on pasture, milk that hasn't been cooked, pressurized, or chemically altered, milk that your great-grandfather would recognize as milk. The secret was never lost. It was just buried under decades of industrial propaganda. Every time you choose real milk, you reclaim a piece of that ancient wisdom, wisdom that kept people strong when life was hard, wisdom that still works today. If this video changed how you see milk, do 3 things. 1. Subscribe. We're uncovering more buried truths every week. 2. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. And 3. Comment real milk if you're ready to stop drinking processed garbage. And check out the next video on the screen. We're exposing what they did to your bread. Trust me, you need to see this. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay healthy, and never trust the industry.